I was born ready. I have bad news for you all, especially if you're a Canelo Alvarez fan. In this video, I will tell you the bad news. The walls are closing in on payday. You want payday? I know that. Canelo Alvarez. David Benavidez Pop speaks out, lashes out on Canelo Alvarez. Sad day in boxing when the face of boxing, Canelo Alvarez, is too ussy to face David Benavidez. That he has to move up in weight to get a fight because the WBC, We Back Canelo, won't force their star pupil to man the up. Anyways, Benavidez versus Alexander Voltstick should be good while the fight lasts. Who is everybody rolling with? Wow. Jose Benavidez Sr., the father and trainer of Jose Benavidez and his son, David Benavidez, posted that. Now, this is terrible news for Canelo Alvarez. The walls are closing in, and I don't even have to say too much because you guys know that by now. I've seen some of the strongest Canelo supporters that are finally getting the bigger picture, seeing the games that Canelo plays, the strategies, and they're even now jumping ship, calling for Canelo Alvarez to face David Benavidez. And I love it. I've been telling you this for a while. It's a fight that makes all the sense in the world. Now, I'm not going to get too far into the video and too carried away with my opinion, because if you guys know my style is to really kind of wait and see. And there's been an influx of fake news in the world of boxing. There's been an influx of cap. There's been an influx of clickbait where it's to the point where boxing is a wild, wild west, pure anarchy. And I need to see some things announced from the actual fighters because there's so many varying reports, so many varying videos and opinions. Nothing could be trusted. So I'm going to give you guys my thoughts in this video, but I'm not going to go in until I know, like fully go in. I'm going to go in. I'm going in. But I'm not going to fully go in until Canelo actually announces his fate and his next opponent. You know, some believe that this could be some mind game from Benavidez to say, hey, I'm moving up in weight, blah, blah, blah. There is an offer to Canelo Alvarez. Reports say that Canelo would have made $60 million plus to fight David Benavidez. We know this is a fight that Al Heyman and PBC have wanted for some years. I've shown you that in other videos. So ultimately, we got to wait for Canelo to officially decide who he's going to fight. But so far, it's not looking good. And it looks like David Benavidez, or as Mike Tyson calls him, the Mexican monster. It looks like he's been barking up that tree and he may not get it. Why do I say that? Because Canelo and his team just recently responded because a lot of people are saying he's avoiding David Benavidez. He's ducking David Benavidez. So they decided to do an interview and give their side and clap back. And in this interview, they basically said it's disrespectful to say and suggest that Canelo is fearful of Benavidez because he's fought Floyd Mayweather, Cotto, yada, yada, yada. And I already went over that. That doesn't even make sense. You beat Cotto many years ago, like probably 2015. You fought Floyd Mayweather and got dog walked in 2013. We're in 2024. Why are you bringing up fights that took place several divisions below where you're actively at? You know what I mean? It's like a chick who fell off since high school and she's 27 now, but all she does is post, if she's posting a picture of herself, it's a throwback Thursday picture of her in her early 20s or her in high school. If you don't look the same or better, of course, you're going to just post throwbacks. And you see that all day on Instagram and some of these social medias where if a chick is only posting throwback pictures of herself, that's because usually she hasn't aged well or she don't look the same that she looked in high school. So she's like reliving those days. Similar on the show Married with Children with Al Bundy. You had Al Bundy, and he hated his wife, he hated his family, hated his job as a shoe salesman, and he didn't like his life. So all he would talk about, he would get drunk to escape his real life, and pay. Ed O'Neill, all Al Bundy would talk about was his glory days kicking the game-winning field goal at Polk High. That's what a lot of people do, and that's what Canelo's team is doing. They're constantly talking about past accomplishments, past feats and accolades. But boxing, as long as you're an active fighter, it doesn't just end for you. Andre Ward's very last fight of a well-established career, he won the Super Six. He could have just basked in the victory of winning the Super Six and kept reliving that. Like, I beat Chad Dawson, I won the Super Six. But he continued to test himself till the end, and he fought Kovalev as his last final 2 fights. That's a true champion. So I really don't want to hear about Canelo Alvarez and his team constantly talking about, how could we be afraid of Benavidez? We fought Floyd. You fought Floyd in 2013. He was older than you. He was smaller than you. What does that have to do 10 years later, 11 years later, fighting someone who's younger than you and bigger than you in a new division? So that's like a person saying they're not afraid to fight in 2024 against Debo because they got in a fight in the 8th grade. What does that have to do with you might have fought someone in the 8th grade, but what about now? Are you trying to fight Debo, right? And we know David Benavidez is Canelo's Debo. Oh, that bike. Oh, I didn't know you wanted back. Right this way, homie. Booyah! So I really don't care to hear about all of Canelo's past accomplishments. We're in 2024. What's up with David Benavidez? And again, I'm not going to fully go in. I'm going to give Canelo the respect of letting him announce his next fight because he only has a certain amount of time. He's supposed to be fighting Cinco de Mayo weekend, so it's about to be March. He has no choice but to announce his next opponent in short order in the near future. But come back to the channel. If he's not fighting David Benavidez, especially the lower the opponent that he does select is from who Benavidez is right now, because keep in mind, Benavidez is off of a great performance. He just fought Demetrius Andrade, who came out strong in the first 2 rounds, and then he started to cripple him and disable him and took away his best weapon, causing him to get stopped. And we had never seen that from a talented southpaw like Andrade. Keep in mind, Andrade is a guy that Canelo avoided and Canelo never fought, but he let David Benavidez take out the trash for him, right? Benavidez fought Andrade his second fight with PBC, no questions asked. He said, yeah, I'll fight him. And he had even declared this when Andrade was still with Eddie Hearn on DAZN. He said, yeah, I'll fight Andrade. And he stayed true to that. Canelo had several divisions where he was in the same exact division as Demetrius Andrade, several opportunities to fight Andrade, and he never did it. Andrade, after the Billy Joe Saunders performance at the post-fight press conference, ran up in the room asking Canelo, when you gonna fight me? Great stuff with Saunders, but I'm no Saunders. When you gonna fight me? And Canelo tried to laugh him out the room. Hey, get the out of here, payday. And he tried to get mad, and that's where the whole payday thing came from. But the point is, you never fought Andrade. So David Benavidez gets full credit because he took the risk and fought the tricky style and the talented southpaw in Andrade. But I'm not giving Canelo credit for that because after all these years, he chose not to fight versus Demetrius Andrade. So if you go through the history and look at Canelo's catalog, yes, he has a good resume in its totality, but there's also been several times where the guys people really wanted to see him fight, he wasn't fighting those guys, especially when the demand for those fights are at their fever pitch, at their peak. Like he didn't fight Triple G when everyone wanted to see him fight Triple G initially. Same thing with Dimitri Bivol. Bivol had been calling him out. Canelo likes to pick and choose, and for that. That's the diva behavior. So all in all, this is a bad look. David Benavidez keeps calling him out. Canelo is making the division stale by having all the belts, yet not fighting super middleweights. And the WBC is basically protecting him. We back Canelo. And, that's not good for the sport of boxing. You got one guy holding all the belts hostages, and no one else can become champions unless Canelo is unseated. So at this point, if Canelo is not going to fight the Benavidezes of the world, the David Morrell Juniors of the world, he might as well retire. He made a lot of money. You can invest his money in other businesses, but let the young, hungry lions of the sport, let them come and feast and fight each other and duke it out. That's what I would like to see. But again, I'll wrap it up. We'll see who Canelo decides to fight in his next fight.